Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode number 90. Wow, time flies. Thank you for your support on this weekly show. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. And we do have a great one planned for you this hour. In a moment from now, I'll interview Best Buy about how to spring clean your tech this month. Also, on today's show, we'll learn about a new camera that lets you shoot video for virtual reality headsets. It's called the Vuze XR. Another guest this hour will be GasBuddy to tell us what's new with the mega popular app. And I'll talk about a half dozen gadgets just in time for the spring and a lot more on today's Tech It Out. All right, let's kick things off. It's April, which is Earth Month, so it's an ideal time to chat about responsibly decluttering your tech, spring cleaning your home, and simplifying your life in an eco-friendly way. Joining us on the phone to offer some suggestions, we've got Agent Derek Meister from Best Buy's Geek Squad. Welcome to the show, Agent Derek.
Thanks, Mark.
I've got this visual of you wearing like dark sunglasses, a suit and a briefcase. Is that right?
It's more like if you've ever seen, the footage of the mission control in Apollo, the Apollo missions, with the white shirt, the clip-on ties. It's exactly what you should be imagining when you think of an agent.
I got it. I was going more for like a Men in Black kind of vibe.
Sure.
But you're helping me paint a different visual, but that works just the same. And thank you for carving out some time to chat with us. Before we talk about spring cleaning and technology, please tell us a bit about Best Buy, like how many locations you have, and of course, fill us in on Geek Squad as well.
Sure. At Best Buy, we really try to enrich people's lives through technology. I'm sure that's something that's really close to your heart as well. Mm-hmm. Our blue shirt experts, they're ready to help you explore those possibilities at over 1,200 locations in the U.S., Canada, Mexico. And if you really need help setting up your tech or fixing it when it misbehaves, we have over 20,000 Geek Squad agents, just like myself, standing by regardless of where you bought that laptop, TV, appliance, or whatever from. So, we really do want to be there wherever you need us, whether that's in our stores, in your home or business, on the phone, or even online with our remote support options.
Wow. I didn't realize there was north of 20,000 agents. And as you said, you can bring it to the store. You could arrange to have a Geek Squad agent come to your home, or you can get help over the phone or over the internet. So lots of options there. And no doubt, a lot of people need some help with technology. So let's try to help them now through this radio interview. It is that time of year where we like to declutter. So doing some spring cleaning, if you will. And Best Buy found that many people will be doing just that this year. What did your recent survey find?
Yeah, we took a look at the American Cleaning Institute's latest survey. We found a record 77% of households plan to do some serious spring cleaning this year. Wow. So, a lot of people are really getting involved with that. Not just that, but, there's also the recent trends of trying to declutter your life. And then, of course, this being April being Earth Month, we're seeing more questions about cleaning and simplifying your home in a way that's eco-friendly. So, it's kind of all of those kind of coming at once. It's really great time to see the options out there.
All right. So with that in mind, when it comes to technology, how can we best spring clean? Maybe you can share some tips for us.
Sure, absolutely. Cleaning is it's more than just vacuuming or cleaning off, wiping the dust off of the top of the TV there. Like we said, people are more interested in the kind of decluttering and simplifying their life these days. So, things like from making physical files into digital to recycling old gear. Some of the tips that we have here, for example, everybody's got that shoebox full of, old family photos. It's a great time to kind of go through those old files, tax forms, documents, receipts, photos, even, those VHS tapes that you have of your kids from however many years ago. Go through those, find ways to convert them into digital forms. That way you can go ahead and upload them to either an external hard drive, just so you have extra copies, in case something ever happens, or even upload them to the cloud. That's a great way not only to conserve storage space, but also make it so that you're able to more easily share those with friends and family. Some other things that you might want to look through, your smartphones, your computers, do things like delete unused apps, get rid of, move those photos and videos to the cloud. Just ways to kind of simplify how you're using them. Things like going through your old bookmarks. I'm sure if you've brought your bookmarks up lately, you probably have just a ton of them. And it just makes it harder to find the things that you're looking for. So anything that you can go through to kind of declutter your digital and software, you're making it easier and making your life just that much easier and more productive.
We're chatting with Agent Derek Meister from Best Buy's Geek Squad. We're talking about spring cleaning your home as it pertains to technology. And of course, it is Earth Month. So with that in mind, Agent Derek, do you have any recommendations on buying, I guess like Energy Star certified technology would be a tip when you have the environment in mind?
Oh, absolutely. That Energy Star logo means that it's certified smart tech. Things like your Nest thermostats, Philips Hue LED lights. What that just means is that these are products that help save money and protect the environment in both in how they're built, as well as just in terms of, how much electricity they use. And don't just think of that for appliances or TVs as big items, but also things like printers, computers, other devices. Again, just look for that Energy Star mark. A great example, once you've done all your spring cleaning, if you want to keep that clean feeling a little bit longer, look for an Energy Star certified air purifier just to keep, that good smelling house a little bit longer after you've cleaned up.
And what about getting rid of your existing tech? What's a environmentally responsible way to do that during Earth Month?
Sure. Great ways. We do actually have trade-in programs as well as recycling programs. One of the things that you may want to do is go ahead, visit bestbuy.com, or even just stop in your local store. You can go ahead and on bestbuy.com, search for trade-in or recycling. In many cases, you can actually get either you can get a gift card for your device. Some manufacturers are often offering essentially a rebate for devices like you bring in your old printer, you get a gift card towards a new Energy Star certified printer. It's a great way to get something that's designed to use less ink, less energy, run more efficiently, and run longer so you don't have to replace it. If it is something that can't be traded in, or you have a local Best Buy location that's not able to take trade-ins, we do. All of our locations do responsibly recycle electronics. So, I'm sure a lot of us have, that junk drawer filled with old chargers. You've lost the device that they even go with, but you just can't get rid of them. Mm-hmm. Toss those in a bag, bring them to Best Buy. You can basically just drop those off. We take pretty much everything that plugs in. So, your laptops, your old cameras, things, pretty much everything. We have programs that we've certified that they're, being recycled responsibly. And it's just a really great way to reduce the e-waste out there.
Mm-hmm. And then my last question then, Derek, on that note is, all right, so whether you're trading in old tech or you're dropping it off at a bin outside of a Best Buy that will be properly disposed of, when it comes to smart home devices, I'm sure there's also ways to keep the environment in mind, like smart LED lighting and thermostats, Wi-Fi thermostats and the like. Can we end off on that?
Sure, absolutely. We talked about, simplifying your life as well as being more eco-friendly. And that's really one of the great benefits of these smart home devices. Like you said, people are looking at smart thermostats like the Nest products or those smart LED bulbs like Philips Hue. First off, these are all Energy Star certified. So that does mean, like we talked about, that they're going to help you save money, use less electricity. Mm-hmm. For example, the smart thermostats are going to learn when you're coming and going, when you turn the heat down or the cooling up, and they'll take care of that for you. They also make it so that, for example, when you leave to go to work, you can set them so that they'll automatically, turn the heating down throughout the day when nobody's going to be at the house. Right. Again, saving money, being better on the environment, and then come back up. Same thing with those LED lights, but they also give you more control. So instead of you having to go through, go all the way to the other side of the house in case you're not sure if you left that light on in the family room, you in most cases you can use your voice assistants, your Google Homes or your Amazon Alexa to control those wherever you're at in the house, or even through the apps when you're outside of the house. Just a lot of really great options there on making sure that you are both more in control, but also using your smart tech to make your home more efficient.
All great and timely advice, Agent Derek. Thank you very much. As we wrap up, where can we learn more about Best Buy and Geek Squad?
Yeah, absolutely. You just visit bestbuy.com or visit us at any of those local Best Buy stores. Again, you can search for trade-in, recycling. If you do need tech advice, go ahead and just search for Geek Squad there. And also just remember that if you're not quite sure what technology you may need in your home, we do have our in-home advisors where our blue shirt experts will come out to your house, give you an overview of all that's possible, figure out what really is the best solution. And again, just like we said before, we want to help you make your life the best it can through technology.
All right, Agent Derek, mission complete. Thank you so much for your time and your valuable advice. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, before we continue on with this show, I wanted to thank our sponsor. Tech It Out is powered by ASUS. Thank you for your support. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much, much more. And if you're a gamer, you no doubt know about the Republic of Gamers, or ROG line of computers and accessories from ASUS as well. For more info, visit asus.com/US/radio. That's ASUS.com/US/radio. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. People who use virtual reality love consuming content in their headsets as it's super immersive. In case you haven't yet tried VR, you've got this 360-degree view of this world tied to head tracking. So wherever you look around in real life while wearing a VR headset, the view inside of that world moves around too. But what if you could easily create VR content instead of just consuming it? Well, I was a judge at the recent Last Gadget Standing competition at the Consumer Electronics Show, and a camera called Vuze XR was a finalist there. To tell you all about Vuze XR, we're joined by Jim Malcolm, Global Chief Marketing Officer at HumanEyes. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Great. Now, before we talk about the Vuze XR camera, talk to us about virtual reality, a little bit more high level, if you will. It's not just for gamers, correct?
I think that's one of the misconceptions right now. There's two ways to create content. One is computer-generated content, so basically what you would have from a video game. But the other is a way to make the real world come to life, that people use things for like training and simulation or patient and pain management in the healthcare industry.
All right. So the two different camps are, one is computer generated or CG, where these are programmers and artists and animators who create a world that looks kind of real and you can live inside of that world and it's often interactive. You can play a game. Then what you're talking about is the second way is more video, 360-degree video that, again, as I said in my introduction, if you're sitting in a chair wearing an HMD or head-mounted display and you look left or right and up and down in real life, inside of that virtual world that you're looking at seemingly through your eyes, it is also going up, down, left, and right. So it really tricks the brain into thinking it's the real deal, but this time using video, not computer-generated graphics.
That's right. The benefit to using video is that the creation of virtual reality content can be made to the mass consumer that's out there. Mm-hmm. Camera systems today, like the Vuze XR, make it super easy to capture the world around you, to be able to view that on a mobile phone, or to be able to output that information into a VR headset like the Oculus Go.
All right, so let's talk about this. So this is the camera that did very well with the critics at the recent CES show, Consumer Electronics Show. It's the Vuze XR Dual VR camera. Tell us all about it.
So the camera itself is dual mode, and that's its title, sort of. In a closed mode, the camera creates a 360-degree view of everything around you in very high resolution, 5.7K, not to get too techno on that. Mm-hmm. But it allows you to see everything around you. But the real magic comes to life when you push a little button on the camera and the two lenses pop out. So they're both facing forward in one direction. Looks a bit like WALL-E, the little robot character, when it's opened up.
Right.
And by having two eyes that are parallel side by side, you can see 3D in depth. So that becomes a really interesting way to really share life's experiences or your vacation photos or whatever in 3D VR in a much more immersive level than just a traditional 2D picture.
You touched on something important here for those once-in-a-lifetime events, like your child's first steps or a great-grandmother's birthday or something. This is where you would pull out a device like this rather than just use your phone because it can capture depth. It can really make you feel like you're there when you're playing it back in a headset. Or as you mentioned, you could also play it online in a 2D format. But the idea is that you can sort of relive that magical moment virtually.
That's right. It's all about the level of immersion. And when you look at a picture or an image on your mobile phone, or even if you have it printed on your wall at your house, there's a certain level of disconnection with that, right? It's a good way to remind you of the memory, but you have everything else around you that is also kind of cluttering or confusing that memory, so to speak. Mm-hmm. However, in a VR headset, which is basically eliminating everything else around you, it really allows you to engage and immerse yourself into whatever that experience is. I love the example of baby's first steps because you can actually see a toddler walking towards you, and they get closer, they get bigger. It's much more dynamic in VR. And it is the closest thing to reliving that for the rest of that person's life. Yeah, and once it's captured, and with this kind of fidelity, it's there forever. You've immortalized that magical moment, which can then be shared on from generation to generation. So you're almost like future-proofing the memory as well. We're chatting with Jim Malcolm. He is the Global Chief Marketing Officer at HumanEyes. We're talking about their latest camera called the Vuze. That's V as in Victor, U-Z-E, XR dual VR camera. So just to clarify to our listeners, so you can shoot in 360 degrees. So when you play it back in a VR headset like Oculus Go, you can move in all directions with your head. But with this three-dimensional extra depth mode, this is 180 degrees. So you can't quite turn all the way around, but it is still wide, a wide field of view we're talking about. But you do have to look somewhat forward. That's right. And we came out with this kind of hybrid type camera because a lot of our studies show that even well-intended VR creators, the viewers never really spend time looking around behind them, especially if they're creating their own content. So they're going to the zoo with the family or they've got a birthday party. And so by focusing on 180 degrees, two things happen. One is a creator can use the same creating techniques that they've always used. In other words, they still stand behind the camera and they're not going to be in it. Yeah. And then camera placement and playing with that depth really becomes kind of, if you think about it as your zoom, right? What you used to use in the old days for zooming a camera. Is the Vuze XR available now? If not, when will it come out? How much does it cost? And where can we learn more about it? Okay, so the camera itself is $439. It is available now. The easiest way to learn more is to go to Vuze, and it's VUZE.camera. Jim Malcolm, Global Chief Marketing Officer at HumanEyes. Thank you very much for your time. My pleasure. I look forward to seeing you in virtual reality. We'll be back shortly with more Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to the show. Over the years, when I've written articles about the best apps to have on your smartphone, especially for commuters and travelers, I always recommend GasBuddy, as it can help save you money at the pumps. And who doesn't like that? And now that spring is here, perhaps time for more road trips with family and friends, it's a good time to have on the show Sarah McCrary. She's the CEO of GasBuddy to tell us what's new. Welcome to the program, Sarah.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having us on.
My pleasure. So let's just start from the top. What's GasBuddy all about?
Well, GasBuddy from the very beginning has been all about helping drivers save money on gas. And it started out as a website in 2000, went to a mobile platform with the advent of the mobile devices coming out. And now we're happily moving into helping users save money at the pump when they pay with the Pay with GasBuddy payment card. So, and for us, it's all about how do we help vehicle owners save money on owning their vehicle, and fuel being that biggest part of their budget for owning a vehicle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And we'll get into this new gas savings program and this card in a moment. But how would you say GasBuddy compares to other, let's call them gas price watch apps? Ones that will say, hey, this station over here has it for a little bit less per gallon or per liter to our friends in Canada, and so on. How does GasBuddy stand out, and how have you remained on top all these years, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's because we're so easy to use, and we are in Canada and the U.S. So that's where we actually founded in Canada, actually, and got to the U.S. with a mobile platform. But we have real-time price that's crowdsourced by our users. So all over Canada and the U.S., we have users every minute of the day that are driving through gas stations and updating prices because they have this real sense of community about helping their other community members make sure that they're getting the most up-to-date pricing information. Mm-hmm. So we end up having about 15 million monthly active users. So it's a really big community. So I think just the scale of our community helps us stand out. Secondly, we also ask our users to leave reviews on gas stations and convenience stores, and everything from the coffee, the lighting, the bathrooms, the friendliness of the staff. So we have this additional dimension of information that I think people on the road really like. They want to know, like, where is it safe to find a clean bathroom and some good coffee? And then the other kind of secret about GasBuddy is because we have all this data coming from these millions and millions of users every day, we power a lot of the gas price data that ends up in these other digital endpoints, if you will. So when you see prices in a car display or you see it on Apple Maps or Google Maps, many times that data was originally sourced from GasBuddy.
Interesting. I was wondering how you got the prices. I figured it was crowdsourced, but I wasn't 100% certain. So thanks for clarifying that, Sarah. But does this data really help you save money? I mean, if you have to drive a couple of miles to save a couple of bucks, doesn't the gas that you use kind of cancel out any savings that you may find at another pump?
Yeah, I think that's one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have. We talk about spread in the market. And the spread in any market, and what that is the difference between the lowest price in the market and the highest price in the market. Here in Boston, the spread can be as much as $1.60. It's incredible how. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and we really talk to our users about use the app and we have a feature called the spread where they can actually see, is it worth venturing out to a little further to save more on gas? And then the way our app works is we have location services in our app. So based on where you're at, we can tell you where the nearest and least expensive is. And so we can kind of help you decide that factor. Are you looking for the nearest? Are you looking for the cheapest? And are you looking for something in between? So when you watch the spread, you really get a feel for you can save quite a bit when you monitor the prices.
That's great. And I'm assuming you break it all down into sort of the entry-level gas and then the premiums and diesel.
That's right. Yeah. So whether you're a user that's price spotting, meaning you're driving by and uploading prices, or you're shopping for gas with our app, you can find it in the different varieties. So you can find the diesel and then the different versions of gasoline and different octane ratings.
Right. Of course, we want to encourage our listeners not to check the GasBuddy app while they're driving. Do it before you hop in the vehicle or have a passenger do that. We're chatting with Sarah McCrary, CEO of GasBuddy. Now let's pivot and talk about this new gas savings program.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is something that has been really innovative for us. After basically 17 years of just being about gas prices, we wanted to extend the value to our users of how can we help them save on every purchase, every gallon they buy. And so right now, it's a U.S.-based only program. We're looking to go into Canada with it. You can save every day 5 cents a gallon, and in some of our program, up to 30 cents a gallon. So we have different offers that we run, and we have partners that will join and provide additional cents off a gallon. So some of our users are saving 20 cents a gallon every time they fill up. And there's really no charge for you to join the free program. You can just enroll using our app, and you get a card in the mail, and you start using it. It's so easy.
Oh, that's great. So where in the app can you register for this card?
Yeah, so we have a tab called the Savings tab that's in our app. And when you register with GasBuddy, you'll have an opportunity to sign up for the Pay with GasBuddy card, or you can go to the Savings tab and walk through the enrollment experience.
All right, Sarah, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What would you say is the most underrated feature of GasBuddy?
Well, I think it's one of our newest features, which is Park with GasBuddy, because we know that our users in the car, vehicle owners, and parking can be a hassle. So we've partnered with a company that will provide benefit of discount parking and provide free gas when you do park with the GasBuddy app. So it's a way of tying back in savings on fuel and reducing the hassle of finding a parking spot.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Just as we wrap up, Sarah, if the app is free, how do you monetize GasBuddy?
Yeah, that's a great question. With like a lot of things on the internet, free usually means an advertising revenue model, and that's exactly what we do. We really try to balance the experience to not overwhelm our users with advertising. Mm-hmm. And we also try to bring in most relevant advertising to our users. But that's exactly what we do. We have both we have programmatic ads that run, and we also have a direct sales team that sells ads to some really big brands that love our users because they are convenience and fuel retail shoppers.
And so is there a website that you would recommend or for GasBuddy, Sarah, or would you just say to download the app from your favorite app store, be it Google Play for Android devices or the App Store for iPhone and iPad?
We're in both of the app stores, and we're online at GasBuddy.com. And if you visit GasBuddy.com, you can also text yourself a link to download the app to make it super easy.
Ah, I like that. All right, Sarah McCrary, CEO of GasBuddy. I really appreciate your time, and congrats on this new gas savings card as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. So I had a lot of fun this week appearing on several TV stations across the country talking about cool tech tied to the spring. You may think that spending time in the great outdoors and technology are mutually exclusive, but the two can go hand in hand with the right tech. So most out of the 6 products that I showed, a range of brands and prices and kinds of tech, they are for the outside, but some also can be used indoors. So I thought I would spend a couple moments sharing with you what I showed on TV in case you missed it. I started off with the new Galaxy S10e smartphone from Samsung. In fact, they've got 3 new Galaxy S10 devices. This is the least expensive at $749 outright. And the Galaxy S10e is absolutely stunning. It has what's called a dynamic AMOLED screen, and it's the first display in a smartphone to have HDR+. So this is high dynamic range for phenomenal contrast and brightness, and of course colors that look very vivid. So the screen is the biggest story here, I think. And it's got the first in-screen fingerprint sensor from Samsung. So you don't need a special sensor on the outside of the phone, like on the back or at the bottom. You just put your thumb or finger on the screen itself to log you in. It also has, of course, amazing cameras, including a second wide-angle rear lens for wide-angle shots, 123 degrees. So that's like what the human eye can see. And my favorite feature is wireless power share. So this is the ability to lay someone else's phone who might need a bit of a juice up, the battery is dying, you lay it on top of your device and yours will wirelessly charge up or power up someone else's phone. Pretty neat. And it also works with other devices like the Samsung new Galaxy Buds earbuds and some other products that are compatible. So really cool phone. Again, that's the Samsung Galaxy S10e. Then I showed the Kobo Forma, which is a waterproof e-reader. So not only can you bring it to the beach or by the pool, or if it rains, you're fine. But if you want, you could even slip into a bubble bath with this. It has the internal electronics also coated so that if it's submerged in water, it's completely fine. It's the largest screen out of any Kobo e-reader at 8 inches, yet it's also the lightest ebook reader that Kobo has ever come out with. You could read books however you like. You can use your fingertip on the screen to swipe or tap, or there are buttons for either left or right-handed use. You can also turn it from portrait to landscape mode and back again, and it flips on the fly. Of course, you can enlarge or shrink the font to your liking. You can borrow books for free from your local library because of the built-in overdrive support. There's a built-in Comfort Light Pro light so you don't disturb your partner in bed. It's got an anti-blue light filter, so it'll allow your body way to create melatonin to fall asleep at night instead of stimulating you, which is the problem with some other electronics. And again, there's a lot of bang for the buck here. Kobo Forma costs $299. I showed the Dell XPS 13, the new 2019 model that made its debut at the Consumer Electronics Show. This is the latest in Dell's most celebrated line of laptops. The most awards they've ever received is tied to the XPS 13. This new model is just as impressive. It's got basically it's a 13-inch 4K Infinity display, so almost no bezel or border, but it's squeezed into an 11-inch body. So it's very compact, yet full-size keyboard, backlit, of course, a gorgeous Arctic white finish is what I brought with me, but there's also rose gold and black and silver. There's the smallest webcam that Dell ever made is squeezed into that little bezel. It is a 2.25 millimeter HD webcam for you to do video calling over Skype or what have you. I also love the battery, up to 21 hours between charges, which is up from 19 hours in the 2018 model. So there's a lot to love about this new Dell XPS 13. If you're in the market for a new laptop, you should definitely check this out. Prices start at $11.99. The new baseball game, MLB The Show 19, it's a PlayStation exclusive that just debuted from Sony San Diego Studios, an amazing baseball game that lets you play as or against your favorite MLB or Major League Baseball team. And of course, you can play by yourself against the smart AI or artificial intelligence, play beside a friend or a sibling on the same couch, or play over the internet against others. There's so many different modes to partake in, including a franchise mode if you want to get involved in the business side of the team, like trades and scouting and stuff like that, and salary caps and all the other decisions that you need to make. Very cool stuff. But I love two new modes. One is called March to October, which is a way to fast track through an entire season by playing the highlights of every game. Instead of playing, painstakingly through every single game, there's a lot of baseball games, as you know, and you can do that if you want, but this is a way to fast track to the playoff season, which is cool. And another mode called Moments, which lets you play as some of MLB's greats, some of the best players from yesteryear, lets you recreate and relive some of those amazing moments. So MLB The Show 19, $59. Super cool baseball video game for PS4. When we return on Tech It Out, I'm going to continue my chat about some great spring gadgets. I showed about half dozen of them on TV last week. So we're going to wrap up with a television for streaming baseball games through the MLB.TV app and all the other cool things you can do with a Roku-powered TV. And if bringing a TV to 6 cities wasn't challenging enough, I also brought with me a robotic lawnmower, because why not? So also after this short break, I'll talk to you about the Husqvarna Automower 450X, a robotic lawnmower. So that'll be what I end up on when we return after this short break. I do want to thank my sponsor as well. Tech It Out is powered by ASUS. They are the title sponsor on this weekly radio show and podcast. So thank you for your continued support. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. As we head into break, I just want to remind you, you can reach out if you've got suggestions for an upcoming guest on Tech It Out or a topic. My email address is tech@marksaltzman.com. That's TECH, the @MarkSaltzman. Or you can hit me up on social media, Mark_Saltzman on Twitter. Again, that's Mark with the C. All right, we'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
Hey, if you're just joining us now, I'm talking about some of the great gadgets I showed on various TV shows last week as part of a Spring into New Tech tour, if you will. I'll continue on with that in a moment, but speaking of TV shows, did I tell you that I'm going to be hosting one on CNBC coming up this spring? That's right. It's a brand new show called Tech Impact, and it will air on CNBC on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern or 8 a.m. Pacific, and it'll be a 30-minute show about the impact of technology on society today and tomorrow. We're going to explore topics like the impact of 5G on the automotive industry. We'll talk tech and healthcare, how robotics and AI, or artificial intelligence, will impact business, what's next for the fastest growing entertainment medium on the planet, which is interactive entertainment or video games, what's changing there, and so on. You get the idea, the impact of technology on society, personally and professionally. So I'm really looking forward to shooting these shows as the host. I'll be traveling to Miami to record these with a production company called Merrim Entertainment. Should be starting production this month, so it'll start airing in May, if not early June. I'm super stoked about this show. If you want to learn more, by the way, you can head over to www.techimpact.tv. And you can read up on the show there. And there's a sizzle reel near the bottom with all the different tech topics that we may cover. And on the second half of that video, it's all about me as the host. It's like a montage, if you will, of some of my previous experiences. I hope you enjoy it. Again, it should debut in late May or early June. And I'll keep you up to date on that if you're interested, maybe during an upcoming Tech It Out radio show and podcast episode. All right, let me now continue the discussion that we started before the break, which is on some spring gear that I showed on TV last week. And speaking of TV, the second last product I showed was the Hisense Smart 4K Roku TV. This is a stunning 4K TV with HDR, like we talked about earlier, high dynamic range. 4K, of course, refers to the fact that these new televisions offer 4 times the resolution compared to an HD TV. And if you're watching HD or high definition content, it will upscale or upconvert that video signal to near 4K quality. So breathtaking images. It's got that HDR for better brightness and contrast and color. It's not just a smart TV, but it has the built-in Roku platform. So you don't need to buy a Roku stick or a box. It's actually built into the TV, and you get a really comfortable remote to access hundreds of thousands of TV episodes and movies. Roku has its own channels, its own content, but it also works, of course, with YouTube and Netflix and MLB, NHL, streaming services, and much, much more. Now, you can use the remote that came with the TV. It's actually pretty comfortable, and there are some shortcut buttons to your favorite services, but it also works with the Roku app. So you can download this free app for your smartphone or tablet to control the TV, and you can use your voice to say what you're looking for and control the TV that way. It also has a USB port. This whole week, I've been showing this really cool video that's running in a loop on a thumb drive. The Hisense Smart 4K Roku TV is very inexpensive, and there are a bunch of different sizes to choose from. Models range from 43 inches all the way up to 65 inches, but for only $239, a 50-inch model at Costco. Awesome. All right, last but not least, the Husqvarna Automower 450X. This is a robotic lawnmower, folks, so it will cut your grass for you. You first have a ground wire professionally installed around the perimeter of your property. Maybe you don't want it to go into your neighbor's lawn, of course, or around a flower bed. You can weave it around that, and then it just does its thing. And then for other obstacles like, rocks or a fence or maybe a garden gnome, it will drive around it, much like a Roomba would in your home. But this one that I brought with me, the 450X, is the top of the line model. It's the largest automower in the family, so it can handle lawns as big as 1.25 acres, or about 5,000 square meters. There are some less expensive robotic lawnmowers as well that can handle a smaller property. But I love that when it starts to run out of battery, it will drive itself back to the base, charge itself up, and then continue on with the job. How cool is that? It also lets you control it with the keypad on top of the device. You can also use an app if you like, or your voice. If you have a Google smart speaker or an Amazon Alexa one, you can use your voice to say, hey, Husqvarna, cut my lawn, or Automower, cut my grass. How awesome is that? It can handle lawns with a complicated shape like steep slopes or maybe narrow passageways and so on. So that's the GPS-assisted Automower 450X from Husqvarna. The top of the line model that can cut 1.25 acres is $3,300, but there are less expensive models too. Well, there you have it, some spring tech that I showed on TV this past week. Well, that pretty much wraps up this week's Tech It Out show. I hope you've enjoyed it, regardless of where you are in the country and whether you're listening to it on traditional radio or as a podcast. Thank you to the sponsor of Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Check out asus.com/US/radio for more info on their awesome products. That's asus.com/US/radio. I'm wishing you all a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and we will speak with you next time on Tech It Out. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.